Hello guys, my name is Wale Farah. I'm a tech entrepreneur and you're watching another episode of Tech Roundup, your weekly opinion, views and analysis of the top tech events happening around the world with a focus on Nigeria. This week, eBay is gifting its sellers an early Christmas present. And finally, netplus.com has recently announced a partnership with FCMB to drive contactless payment notification. To review the stories this week will be my colleague, Jenny, who will be moderating an interview with Victor Ekwela, the managing editor at Techcabal.com. Don't forget the number of the week at the end of the show. The show is packed. Let's get started. eBay, in collaboration with LO Alice, is offering small business owners an early Christmas present with its grant packages, mentorship, and resources for all applicants. All this is part of the launch of the Up and Running Grants initiative, which was birthed from the pandemic. It's an extension of the acclaimed Retail Revival program. The Up and Running grants are focused on ensuring the growth and survival of small businesses by committing more than $500,000 in funding. That is, 50 business sellers get a $10,000 grant package each, as well as education resources for existing business sellers to secure viability in 2020 and beyond. Details of how it works can be found on the full article on TechRoundUpS3E19. Undoubtedly, the pandemic resulted in many small businesses struggling for survival. In Nigeria, those problems are coupled with the rippling effect of the EndSARS protest that has left so many business owners in the red. However, all this also opened up an entirely new perspective to running successful businesses through technology and e-commerce. This success is expected to double up as the holiday season draws near, making eBay's grant program announcement even more vital as it promises to help small businesses stay up and running online. Also, for anyone who is still wavering on the upside to trading online, if this initiative from eBay isn't proof enough that we have entered the digital economy and there is no other way to do business successfully, there's nothing else that would convince you. Stop overthinking and just get on board.
So the first story here, eBay, one of the biggest e-commerce platforms in the world, has partnered with Hello Alice to offer small businesses grant packages, mentorship, and resources in order to help them ensure survival and growth in 2021 and beyond. And I mean, I feel like this has doubled up on the idea that the e-commerce sector is growing and will continue to grow. Do you agree? And I mean, do you have your 2 cents to give on this particular notion?
I totally agree with you. So one of the biggest winners of this pandemic is e-commerce, because it's still e-commerce. E-commerce is still growing. The logical conclusion or the reason why is that everybody, there was a global lockdown, across the world, and people were unable to go out and do commerce and shop the way they knew. So to prevent the spread of the virus and whatnot, a lot of people adopted e-commerce more. South Africa, for instance, saw one of its largest peak of e-commerce activities earlier in the year. Even though there was not any verifiable data for Nigeria, it was obvious that a lot of people resorted to shopping online, anecdotal data from people just talking. It just was the logical conclusion, and I feel like this spurt in growth is going to help propel it to, I don't know, whatever it becomes after 2020.
Yeah. I totally agree. I totally agree. And they also got me thinking, I mean, eBay is one of the largest in the world, right? But even our local e-commerce companies, there should be something they can do to help smaller businesses, especially given the fact that we just encountered one of the most trying times in our economy with the EndSARS protest and many many small business owners getting looted and losing quite a lot of money, right? So is there something, or do you think this is one of the initiatives that these local e-commerce sites can possibly use to help local business owners or smaller business owners, especially those that, you know, trade on their platforms?
Okay. So something I want to point out is that e-commerce is still not the most popular, you know, sector of, you know, tech startups in Africa, and not just Nigeria. This means that a lot of the e-commerce startups are still struggling. You know, they're still struggling against a lot of revenue marks and whatnot. Most of them are suffering. I mean, I don't want to call names, but like some of the biggest ones have taken a hit. In very recent times, and they themselves are going through a crunch. So yes, in as much as they've seen a spike in activity, a spike in a growth in, you know, customer acquisition and whatnot, they still have a long way to go to become viable businesses. You know, talk less of having enough to have any sort of support for local businesses. So no, I don't think they're in a place where they can offer that, even if they wanted to.
To our last story this week, leading fintech and payment service provider netplus.com, a company that I lead, has partnered Foremost Financial Institution, First City Monument Bank, FCMB, to develop and deploy a notification service for merchants that enables contactless payment through account transfer payment notification on point of sale terminals and on merchant apps. The service, running on the well-adopted NIPS Instant Payment NIP platform, will make it easier for merchants with an FCMB account and their customers to transact on existing POS payment infrastructure already provided by the bank. You can read more about the announcement on TechRoundUpS3E19. With the challenges posed by the outbreak of the novel coronavirus pandemic, payment service providers and financial institutions have gone the extra mile to make financial transactions more secure, safer, and easier for all segments of the society. Instant money transfer is one of the leading digital payment channels in Nigeria. It has been established that innovating and improving the user experience of this particular channel will be a major boost for the entire ecosystem. Given that this new service is free for business owners to sign up and use as a tool, it goes to show the promise of a growing vertical. Rather than being in competition, a fintech partners a commercial bank to ease the life of business owners. This, in my opinion, and it's a biased opinion, is an incredible milestone and it should be celebrated. I urge that more organizations in the space follow suit to ensure positive changes in the digital changing world, especially in the Nigerian ecosystem.
For the final story here, we have netplus.com, which is one of the leading fintechs in the country right now, who has partnered with FCMB to create a contactless notification service for their merchants in order for them to transact with their customers using an existing POS payment infrastructure. Now, I feel like this is a relatively untapped vertical, right? And it should be celebrated, yeah, but what impact do you think that this kind of service would have in the Nigerian market right now?
So before I heard about this, I honestly didn't know that this wasn't a thing that already existed, right? It was surprising to me that this is a new thing. I think that for all the fad that is fintech, you know, mobile payments and whatnot, there's still a lot of like very basic infrastructure that still needs to come into place. And something like this will have a very positive impact across board, because it's, above everything, it just improves the user experience, right? To a very large extent. It makes these transactions easier. It makes usage easier. Because to a very large extent, when it comes to mobile payments and fintech, adoption is a major problem, right? So the easier it is to get these things to function, to work the way they're supposed to work, the better for everybody involved, I guess. So I guess.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. It was so valuable and exciting to talk to you and pick your mind a little bit. And hopefully we can catch up real soon. Yeah. Thank you.
Our number of the week this week is 100 million. eBay has pledged $100 million to help business sellers open their e-commerce stores on eBay. That's all we have time to take. Have a great week, guys, and see you all again next week. Goodbye.